Don't eat fish too many times a week or you'll get sick. But why do they tell you that? The reason is that certain fish like tuna contain high levels of mercury. Mercury is a heavy metal. Although there are natural sources, airborne mercury from power plants and factories and discharge trapped by sediment are swept out to the ocean, artificially increasing the amount of mercury in our oceans. But why is mercury a big deal? Primary producers like phytoplankton actually absorb the mercury into their cells and convert it to the toxic methylmercury. But how do microorganisms relate to the methylmercury in the fish we eat? Fish eat the plankton and absorb the methylmercury in a process called bioaccumulation, where they absorb it into their cells and fatty tissues. The problem with this is, unlike other chemicals, it never enters the bloodstream or is excreted as waste, so therefore it increases in the body over time. Turns out fish like the Atlantic cod have 23% more methylmercury in their bodies than in the 1970s, especially when mercury regulations were less prevalent. But aren't the concentrations in phytoplankton and small fish so low? Why would we even need to worry about it? It's true that the levels of methylmercury in primary producers and primary consumers are quite low, but the issue lies in a process called biomagnification. Biomagnification says that each level of the food chain, the amounts of each chemical increase in greater concentrations proportionally. Let me give you an example. Let's say phytoplankton have 1 unit of methylmercury. Its predator zooplankton consumes 100 phytoplankton a day and then has 100 units of methylmercury. And the sardines consume 1,000 zooplankton a day and then have 100,000 units. And then a tuna consumes 100 sardines a day and thus has 10 million units, meaning the higher up the food chain you go, with larger fish especially, the higher the methylmercury concentrations are. That's why eating larger fish like swordfish and mackerel is especially dangerous, because the higher levels of methylmercury can cause health conditions, especially in fetuses, such as immune system problems and cognitive deficits. I hope you stuck with me today because this is a complex topic. Going forward, will you limit your consumption of big fish?